Hi everyone, I have a treat for you. So I think everyone knows by now we're a week officially into Mercury Retrograde. Now I'm really focusing on my page and my group on Facebook to embrace this little guy. So I'm going to go over a little bit about what Mercury Retrograde is now. And then I've got a treat. I'm going to do a Rune Mercury Retrograde reading, a collective reading for all of us. Now, as you guys know, I do private readings. So if this resonates with you, I would be honored to do a private Mercury and Retrograde reading for you. Just contact me through the Facebook page or through Instagram, okay? I'll probably post this on Instagram too, maybe. We'll see. Ignore the traffic outside. I do live in Mexico City on top of a very heavy, busy highway. And, but that's all good. It just adds to the ambiance of it, right? Material world, spiritual world. Okay, Mercury retrograde. Well, we like to think that it's 3 weeks long, but indeed, buckle your seatbelts. It is 5 weeks long. This particular Mercury retrograde started in January 15th and ends March 13th. What? Don't extend this on me. Why? It's because there's a 2-week pre-shadow and a 2-week post-shadow. So technically, it went into retrograde last Saturday. And now, so we've been in it for about a week or so. You may have already seen this. Mercury retrograde gets a really bad rap about, oh no, it's Mercury retrograde, that's why everything's going to beep. And it's just really frustrating. And yeah, it's Mercury retrograde, beep. No, and you know what? This is the way I want to embrace Mercury retrograde. If you think about it, if it's 7 weeks a year, 7 weeks, 3 times a year, that's 21 weeks a year. That's almost half of the year. We're in some type of an influence of Mercury in retrograde. Now, let's take our power back. First and foremost, when we say, oh, it's because of Mercury retrograde, it's because you are shunning your responsibilities. It's because you're blaming it on someone else. You're taking your own power away, right? So let's step back into our power. In fact, I'm going to add this cute little malachite here, because malachite is for stepping into your power. Mercury is our little runt planet neighbor. No offense, Mercury, but you are the smallest guy. And he's just on the other side of Venus, so he's pretty close to us. I want you to think of Mercury retrograde. Okay, here's an example. You have someone who cleans your house every day for free. They come over all day long, clean, every day for free, and you just can't even believe you have this person in your life. But you know what? They get burned out. They're tired. So about every 3 months or so, they say, you know what, Jefe, you know what, boss lady, boss man, I'm tired, I'm burned out, I'm going to go take a 3 to 5 week vacation, and I'll be back. And you can't say a thing. Why? Because they work for you for free. So think of that as Mercury. Every planet has its attributes, its responsibilities, and Mercury's is communication, electronics, contracts, and old business from the past, okay? So that's why they say do not buy electronic equipment during Mercury retrograde, all of you. If you have to, sometimes our phone crashes at the beginning of Mercury retrograde. We can't be 5 weeks without our phone. Oh my God, can you imagine? So make sure you buy the extra insurance. Contracts, you can't tell your lawyer, I'm sorry, I can't sign between this time and this time for the house closing because Mercury's in retrograde. They'll be like, oh my God, you are one of those woo-woo, freaky, deaky, new energy people. No. Let's keep our freaky deakiness to ourselves, okay? But what you can do is ask for the contract in advance to look over it. Make sure there's no screwy little phrases in there, clauses in there. What else? Communication. Oh God, this is what we've all been, we normally go, God damn it. Sorry, that wasn't politically or religiously correct, spiritually correct. But we get really upset when something doesn't go through. That email you sent 4 days ago, the person's like, when are you going to send this to me? The deadline was yesterday. And you're like, but I sent it on Monday. And then you go to look and it's in your drafts, not in the sent folder of your email. I'm really getting good at this, better and better every day, that I get a message from somebody and I go to see it and I realize the message I sent to them yesterday or a few hours earlier is still sitting there, that I never sent it. I'm like, oh, I meant to send this earlier, so I wasn't ignoring you. It's just I never sent it. Make sure your words, dot your I's and cross your T's, because it's very easy to go, sure, I can do that, instead of going, no, I cannot do that. So be careful that you put the not in there and that you don't accidentally say, I can do that, when you mean I cannot do that. So this is like really important to check all of those things. So remember, Mercury normally has your back and does all these things for you, but you're like, oh, you're gone. Now I have to do them for myself. So also be really careful of exes. Yeah, them. Your exes tend to feel very nostalgic during this time, or you, and you have too much wine and you end up late night texting your ex, or your ex writes you back, or your ex writes you and you're like, oh yeah, I'll write him back. Remember, if you decide to get involved with your ex during a Mercury retrograde, most likely when it goes direct, you're going to remember exactly why they are an ex. So just beware of that. And, if you do it, expect an I told you so. No, I'm just kidding. We're all victim to that. Just be really careful of that. But in the good sense, it's a time to rework, revisit, review. If you're looking for a job, go back to old employers, or go back to old places you thought you were going to work or wanted to work, or old ideas. Revisit, rework things. Projects, if you want to start a new project, don't start a new project. Pick up a project that you had to put off to the side before. You can definitely get a lot done during Mercury retrograde, including being calm and loving to yourself and putting things on the back burner. Do not put too much on your plate during Mercury retrograde, or you shall regret it. Okay, let's do the reading. Ta-da! Here's our rune reading. Okay, so you have to laugh at me because this first little rune is a blank rune, but there is a blank rune too. The blank rune is weird. Let me see if I can find it. This here is the blank rune, but this here is a blank rune, but isn't the blank rune. Hey guys, okay, after fixing a pretty serious Mercury retrograde themed, I'm not gonna blame our little guy, but I'm able to record again. My phone was full of memory and I was not able to erase, I was erasing tons of stuff, but I still only had like 1 minute and 15 seconds to record, and I was like, that's it. So, but crisis averted, yay me, so proud of myself. See, sometimes we prove to Mercury retrograde that, yeah, we may want him around to make our life easier, but you know what? We don't need him. But come back, please. Anyway, so if you look here, I laid out the runes. I love this layout because it looks like a pair of fangs. It looks like little fangs hanging down. And you'll laugh at me because this rune here looks like a blank rune. But yet here is the actual blank rune, okay? So this is weird. This is weird. W-Y-R-D, not W-E-I-R-D. This is Hagalas. I think I've explained in my previous videos that when, I think my phone is still slipping. Sorry about that. More little situations. Okay. Alrighty. So Hagalaz looks like an H with a diagonal crossbar in it. Okay. He did not come with this rune set, and I don't have a Dremel to fix it. So this is why this is Hagalaz, just the plain one. They give you a plain one so that you can do it. But I need to get a gold paint pen or something in the meantime. But I am going to start with this rune and go across and then come down to these two runes, okay? And if you wait till the very end, I'm going to have a special little, still slipping, a special little crystal grid to show you as well, okay? All right. This first rune here is going to be, what will this Mercury retrograde bring into my awareness? Now, this is a collective reading, meaning that if you came across this video and you said, wow, I want to watch this video, then the messages here are for you. Therefore, anybody who watches this video, even if you watch this video in 2 years, these messages are meant for you, okay? So just feel confident that that's what the deal is. Okay, so the first rune is, what will this Mercury retrograde bring into my awareness? Again, this is our dear Hagalaz. Hagalaz is non-reversible. Hagalaz is the hailstorm, meaning something comes into your life that is really just hectic and chaotic. It doesn't have to be bad, but it's normally a change. It knocks you off your center. It wasn't what you had planned. So you feel like, oh, I'm off kilter. What is this? What is this mess I have to deal with? Normally you have to stop everything to fix it. The good thing is it comes in as fast as it leaves, just like a real hailstorm. So that's good. I compare it to the Wizard of Oz. I know that was a tornado, but it is like when Dorothy's out there with her doggy, Toto, and he runs off and the storm comes in and just starts wreaking havoc. So imagine it being a hailstorm and you're being pelted in the face and tree branches are flying everywhere. Imagine that. But then it leaves as soon as it comes. And the hail that came down melts on the ground and it nourishes all the roots and the grass and the trees. So everything looks a lot prettier afterwards. But also we learned that, storms clear out energy. So many times on Hagalaz, when you look back on it, ooh, yeah, you're glad it happened. Whether, this can be something chaotic that you didn't expect, like, oh no, you have to renew your immigration status and you haven't done that. Or it can be simply, someone comes in to visit you from out of town that you're really excited about, but it causes a chaotic time. Okay? All right. So what will this Mercury retrograde bring into my awareness? That you may have something you need to clean up. You may have storms that come in out of nowhere. You may have sirens outside of your window that when you're trying to do a YouTube video, you just have to roll with the punches. But this is a good one because this says it will leave almost as soon as it came, and it will be something when you look back on. Many times obstacles are given to us, so we can overcome them and we can feel really proud and have an even more stronger self-esteem. All right, the second rune is, how will this Mercury retrograde affect me? This is the rune Kanaz. This is the name of my page. It is upright. Kanaz represents clarity, shedding light on things, shedding light in the darkness, evolution, information gathering, advancing forward, evolving, because this is actually representative of a stick where when the Vikings would find a cave that was dark and new and they wanted to explore it to see if this could be a new dwelling or storage area, they would take a branch off of a certain tree and snap it just like this. They would break it, but not in two pieces. And here at that elbow, the resin would come out. And the resin was flammable off this certain tree. So Knaz represents the torch being brought into the cave, shedding light on the dark to investigate things coming to light, information you needed that maybe you didn't have, learning new things. So how will this Mercury retrograde affect you? You will find out information that you needed. You will be shedding light on the dark. So some things may be coming to fruition or coming to the light. And sometimes this isn't always good stuff. It could be that, you find out the missing piece of your project that you wanted. Like maybe you needed a new partner or a new location, and you found it, that you found the information that you needed to. Sometimes it's also uncovering things we don't always know or confirming things. We may think that a partner is, stepping out on us, and we've kind of known it, and then we get some type of a confirmation of this. That's a pretty extreme thing. Unfortunately, not very uncommon, okay? The third rune is, what do I need to revisit during this Mercury retrograde? This cracks me up because this is Ansu's, the Mercury retrograde rune, when it's upside down. And guess what? It's reversed. So when it's upside down, right side up, sometimes you have to explain the runes right side up to understand them upside down. Right side up is the rune of communication. Ansu's represents flowing communication, being, just being in that moment where you're just having a really great conversation, or, things are just really flowing. Everything's being understood without it having to be over-explained, being in the groove. When it's reversed, it doesn't mean no communication, like the exact opposite, but it does mean hiccups in communication, just like I explained Mercury retrograde. Sometimes text messages are famous for this. Somebody's in a bad mood and they read your text message and they're like, oh, they have a problem with me, because they're in a bad mood. So they read a tone to your WhatsApp message when indeed it's actually their tone. So they're like, why are you being such a bitch? And you're like, I'm not. That was totally meant with a lot of love. It wasn't sarcastic at all. Well, it feels like it's sarcastic. It's like, you read it. I didn't. That's why I really like to do voice messages, because you can normally hear the tone in your voice. Okay, so that is, what do I need to revisit during this Mercury retrograde? Miscommunications. If you have situations with people where you miscommunicated and maybe there's some resentment, or you're not talking to people, it's okay to go back to those previous situations to try to fix them. If something is currently happening, I would leave it alone and let it just unfold or cool off. But during Mercury retrograde, you can revisit, you can review. That's what Mercury retrograde is. Very much like a new moon, where you go within and you really kind of process everything a little bit easier. Okay? Now, with that being said, the next one, the fourth rune, is, what do I need to rework during this Mercury retrograde? This is Iwaz. Iwaz is the rune of magical protective luck. This is very good. Okay? It's non-reversible. This is the one where I talk about where you are in your little red convertible and you are on a mountain road and it's curvy and you have the top back and it feels and smells like spring and the wind is blowing in your face and it feels so good and the sun is out. It's just a wonderful time. You're hugging those curves with your little sports car, and you happen to look up in the rearview mirror, happy as can be, and the police are behind you. And you start making all these deals with the universe or with God, like, I can't have more points on my license, please just let this go away, let him poof disappear. And you're like, as he pulls around you and passes you to pull over the car in front of you, you are elated and happy, and this is that magical protective luck. Ehwaz is the one that gives you this good luck, not because of you're a good person. It's not a karma rune. It is a rune because you are who you are. You are a special being of infinite intelligence. You are always protected. You always have this with you, even if you don't see it in such a example as that, because it's often somebody calling you when you're going to work and you take a left instead of a right so you can go have a coffee with this person, and you end up missing a major traffic or an accident, and you don't even know how often this actually happens. So it's always good to remember this. You're always magically protected. Okay, now the 5th rune here is Gibo. Gibo looks like a simple X, but he is not. Gibo is the rune of love and your gift. Self-love, love for others, love for what you do. Your gift, meaning that you love what you do. It's instinctual. It's easy. It's something that you enjoy doing. Okay? So this is our gift from God. In Spanish, it's our don. It is just something that you're born with. You are an artist. You're really good at drawing. You never took classes. You are a healer. You just know what to give people or know how to heal with energy. You are really good with numbers. You know, it's just something that comes naturally to you, but you are often doing this from your heart, and you're doing it with love. Last but not least, we have the 6th rune, which is Inguz. I'm sorry, this one, I didn't even tell you. How rude of me. Oh, so let's go back to this one. Did I even tell you this one? I got so excited about the runes, I forgot to tell you. What do I need to rework during Mercury retrograde? So to recap, this is what will this Mercury retrograde bring into my awareness? How will the Mercury retrograde affect me? And this was bringing something to light. This is what do I need to revisit during Mercury retrograde, which means revisiting somebody that maybe you had a miscommunication with, going back to something to fix that maybe was kind of blowing up, and you decided to just scrap it, go back to that. The 4th one is what do I need to rework during this Mercury retrograde, which is magical protective energy, and there's nothing you really need to rework, but I think it's important that you remember that you're always magically protected. 5th one is Gibo for love, and it's what unknown factors do I need to be aware of? This could be your talent. Maybe there's an unknown talent. During COVID, a lot of people have had to figure out how to make money without their jobs, or while their jobs are in flux, in pause. So this could be, for example, I had to go full-time with my readings. I love my readings. I enjoy doing my readings. People respond very well to my readings. It is a place of pride for me, being with people and connecting and helping them with clarity. So, you know, what unknown factors do you need to be aware of? There may be a certain talent that you have that maybe you need to look at in a different way of, can you do this as a business? Or it may be a love around you that you didn't know existed. It was unknown to you. Open your eyes to any options of love out there. This isn't just romantic love. It's also self-love. Okay? The last one now, let's get back to him. What precautions can I take for a smooth Mercury retrograde? Well, this is Inguz. This is the sperm or the seed. This is the little light bulb or the big light bulb above your head. When you go, oh, that's a great idea. It's just that. It is not acting on it. It is not going to put into play the inspiration you get from that, okay? It is simply an idea, but it may be, if you get a new idea during Mercury retrograde, you do not want to act on it during Mercury retrograde. Wait until after Mercury retrograde to work on that inspiration of how to nourish this and put it into fruition, because it may have a very bumpy or unsuccessful start during Mercury retrograde. Okay, now I have a little surprise for you. Okay, now I've added a crystal grid to this, okay? Not a big deal, but I thought it'd be fun. This is malachite. Malachite is for exactly what I talked about in the beginning of this video, stepping into your power, okay? It's also for improving and boosting your immune system, which is very important. But right now during Mercury retrograde, try not to use Mercury as a scapegoat. But remember, anything great that happens to you, can go, I did that. I'm proud of that. I manifested that. But also anything that goes badly, you can also say, ooh, I did that too. You attract everything in your life. When you realize that you take responsibility for everything, you have so much more power and you can focus your power so much easier. This is the pyramid of, I love these mini pyramids, they're so cute. Black obsidian. It is to absorb negativity, transmute it into positivity, and send it back out. It's very important for you to have, and even this stone here, this is black tourmaline. Let's see if I can get them better into focus. Or not. But anyway, the black tourmaline up here is does the same thing. Black stones do this. It's very good to have black tourmaline in your car when you're driving to avoid accidents and tickets. This pyramid here represents the third chakra, which is the solar plexus. This is the chakra of self-confidence, self-esteem, security, safety. It is the feeling, this is where you get your gut reactions. It's right over the belly button. It's where it's between the heart chakra and the second chakra, the sacral chakra. This one here is for the root chakra. This is for grounding. Grounding is very important during Mercury retrograde, okay? Very important that you ground and you focus, because we can really fly off the handle when things aren't working well, but we have to just know, I'm going to let this flow, and if this doesn't work out, I'm just going to ride the wave and just see how everything works out. This one's funny because this one came up without meaning to after Ansu's. This is turquoise. This is for the throat chakra or the sixth chakra. It's the fifth chakra. The heart is the fourth. 1, 2, 3. And turquoise is for speaking your truth gracefully and kindly. There's always a way to speak how you feel about without going off the handle, especially next to the miscommunication. This is good for clear communication. This rune here is for the second chakra, the sacral or sexual chakra. This is for body image and wanting to be healthy and wanting to better your body and the feeling of your image to the world. This one here is rose quartz for love and self-love. And this is green aventurine for healing and self-healing. And then, of course, we have little Ganesha here. You can't really see him, but there's Ganesha. He is the remover of obstacles. So he's always good to have. There's some sand from Tulum, where I used to live. Yay. Okay, and that's it. So I would love for you guys to let me know down below in the comments how you like this. Please let me know if you want a personal reading like this. We can set that up. I do my readings by voice, file, and photo, so you have a permanent record. We don't have to worry about time zone differences. If you're available this week, I do it first thing in the morning, and then I send it to you, and then there's always follow-up. I do not ever just send a reading and then blow you off. That does not happen. Many of my clients become long-term clients and close friends because we do have that interaction. You do not have to feel obligated to share things with me unless you would like to, and then the door's always open. If you've enjoyed this and you don't want a personal reading, but you just want to say a little thank you and you want to send a donation for me to go get a coffee when coffee shops open one day, my Zelle and my PayPal are down below. Donations are always appreciated during this time because this is an exchange of energy. I put a lot of energy into my social media, and it's always nice to get a little bit of an appreciation. But even a comment or a heart, it was really helpful too. Give me some love, people. Okay, so thank you everybody for tuning into this. If you think that this could help anybody else, or you thought of anybody else during this, share this with them. Copy the link and share it. I'm on Instagram, Kanaz Readings by Crystal. I am on Facebook pages, Kanaz Readings by Crystal. Obviously, I'm here, Kanaz Readings by Crystal. And a special treat is I'm on TikTok. I'm just starting my TikTok, which is also Kanaz Readings by Crystal. And if you want to become part of our participatory group on Facebook, it is a very private group. I'm very careful with who comes into that group. It is also Kanaz Readings by Crystal, a gathering. You can find that in the groups on Facebook. Okay? Thanks so much, everyone. I truly love you guys, and I hope that you are surviving this Mercury retrograde and that you got some good advice during this. Feel free to put any tips in the comments below as well to share with the others. Okay? Bye-bye. Sending lots of love. Mwah.